What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. So I really want to talk to you guys about something that I feel like WWE can really work on, and it feels like it's not getting better as time goes on. Now, before I get into that, I want to say this. WWE has been doing a phenomenal job, has been doing incredible work, and for the most part, I've been loving and enjoying every second of it. From the storylines that's being told, from the big matches that we're getting, to the factions feeling important again, even to the revamped presentation, from the camera work to the editing. Everything seems to be infinitely better than what we got in the previous era. Now, even in saying that, I can't ignore something that sticks out to me like a sore thumb. I really feel like they're dropping the ball on the tag team division. Now, for the most part, I know you guys are thinking, who cares about that? Just enjoy what's going on. Everything is great, and that's fine. But when you see a division that I am a huge fan of kind of seeming like it's not treated as if it's important in comparison to everything else in the landscape of WWE flourishing at this point, you kind of ask yourself, what exactly is going on? Why doesn't it seem like the tag team division is as important or close to being important as everything else? It just seemed like it's put to the side. Now, for me, the reason why I care so much is because I'm a huge tag team wrestling fan. In fact, tag team wrestling is what got me into loving pro wrestling and wanted to know more about the in-ring psychology. The main match that did that for me was something I watched in retrospect a long time ago. It was a match at the Royal Rumble of 1991 between the Orient Express and the Rockers, which consisted of Marty Jannetty and HBK. And I really feel like that's a very underrated match that a lot of people don't talk about. I really implore you guys to go back and watch it. It has so much in-ring psychology. It has some story in there. It has so much tag team offense that made me very impressed with the things they can do in the ring. And one of my favorite matches of all time is the TLC match at WrestleMania 17, and a match that got me into really going into watching independent wrestling is the Ring of Honor match, the Ladder War match between the Briscoes versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. At the time, they were El Generico and Kevin Steen. So I'm really into tag team wrestling, and I love when they get the shine and they get the respect that they deserve. But what I've been noticing as of lately in WWE, especially with the tag team titles, they don't really feel important unless they're involved in some type of faction and being used as a plot device to forward whatever storyline is going on there. Now, that's not a bad thing. I love the fact that they're involved in a story, but the problem is once those titles go on a tag team that isn't in the faction, WWE seems to not know what to do with them. And I want to use some examples to kind of, give you guys my point. Let's think about the two tag teams who won the titles at WrestleMania at that ladder match. You look at the Awesome Truth. Great moment for them. Great moment for R-Truth. He deserves it. A great nostalgic moment for people who loved the Awesome Truth back then. And then eventually they lost it to who? A tag team that's a part of a faction that will be used as a plot device to forward a storyline in that faction. Again, that's absolutely fine, but the problem is once it goes back on a normal tag team, they don't know what to do. Look at A-Town Down Under. They won those tag team championships at WrestleMania. They got brand new titles just like the Awesome Truth did, but they barely did anything with it, and then they eventually lost it to DIY, which at this point, after what we saw last week on SmackDown, we know that the Bloodline 2.0 is pretty close to taking those titles off of DIY, and again, it will be attached to a faction and used as a plot device to forward a storyline in the Bloodline, which again is fine, but when they get on tag teams, WWE just really don't seem to know what to do, and it makes you miss those times where the tag team division as a whole and even those titles felt important, felt just as important as the mid-card titles, felt just as important sometimes as the world title. And I get that it's not on the same level, but it felt like they put the same amount of effort into it. Like back in the Attitude Era, we've had tag teams like the Dudleys to the Hardys to Edge and Christian to APA to even the Hollies. Like it just to Too Cool. Like the tag team division just felt like it had something for everybody, and whoever was the champions at that time, it just felt really important, even if they weren't, they were tag team champion or tag teams that were just put together, like Rock and Sock Connection or the two-man Power Trip, or the list goes on. And I'm sorry for excluding DX, but I want to include them in the previous list that I was talking about. It just felt like it was important. Now, if we want to move on from nostalgia and just talk about what happened in the late 2010s, we had the New Day in their prime. We had the Usos, the Bar. We can even go down to NXT, where one of the main reasons I love the Black and Gold era is because of how much emphasis and shine they put on the tag team matches, even in their takeovers with tag teams like Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, or if we're talking about the Undisputed Era, the Vaudevillains, or we're talking about the Viking Raiders. The list goes on and on with that, and it feels like that they don't really give that type of care on the main roster for the tag teams as of now. So I know that we got those tag team matches coming up this Friday on SmackDown, which in my personal opinion was a great idea to have it happen on SmackDown as opposed to have it happen at SummerSlam, because if they try to fit those tag matches on SummerSlam and they only have so much time, those matches are going to go by quick and they're going to be forgotten just like that. So with them being on SmackDown, it feels like they're going to get a lot of time. I'm hoping for both tag team matches they get a ton of time if those teams are going to lose those titles, so at least they can get some time to shine in those moments. But I think we all believe that, you know, the Bloodline 2.0 is definitely taking those titles off of DIY, which sucked for them because they were fantastic in NXT, but now it just seems like they're really not trying to do anything with them of importance because, again, another storyline that involves a faction. So I just wanted to just point that out. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section if you think the same thing, if you feel the same thing. Am I blowing this out of proportion? Am I looking at it the wrong way? I'm really open to hear what you guys have to say about it. And also, I want to add in there too, the women's tag team division as well. Like, we barely seen the tag team champions do anything. We've seen them on TV probably twice ever since they won the titles, and they really haven't been doing anything of importance. Now for them, and even maybe for the tag team champions on SmackDown, I get that they have a 2-hour show, so there's really not enough room to really do as much, but they can pick an episode and eliminate some type of segment that has to do with the Bloodline 2.0 and insert something that has to do with tag teams, which they have done. Well, you know, we had the gauntlet last week, we got the tag team title matches right now, so I'm happy about that. But for the ladies themselves outside of this match, it just feels like they really haven't done anything to like make the tag team division feel a lot more important. But that's just me. That's just what I thought about earlier today. Again, you guys let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I would greatly appreciate it. Salute, peace, have a good day.